Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is Saira Mujtaba with the Midday News. The headlines. Special CBI court acquits all 32 accused in Babri Masjid demolition case. Says demolition was not pre-planned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asks Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister to take strictest action against culprits in the Hathras rape case. Special investigation team to probe the incident. Election Commission team meets representatives of political parties in Bihar, reviews preparations for assembly elections. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.33%. Donald Trump and Joe Biden exchange barbs in the first debate for US presidential election. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Kolkata Knight Riders in Dubai tonight. In our special series on the occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we begin this bulletin with Bapu Ki Baat. In a post-prayer speech, Mahatma Gandhi had spoken about the rural development.
एक एक कोड़ी करोड़ों में से भी लेकर हम फूंक फूंक पर चले और आगे आगे करें और ऐसा समझें कि एक कोड़ी हम खर्च तो करते हैं लेकिन वो हिंदुस्तान की झोंपड़ियों में जाती है कि नहीं, ये देखना है। मेरे लिए तो वही हिसाब होता है कि हम पैसे लेते हैं, करोड़ों रुपये वो हिंदुस्तान की झोंपड़ियों में से आता है, तो वहाँ उसमें से हम कितना भेजते हैं। और कानून तो ये कहता है, सच्चा कानून, कि अगर पंचायत राज है, लोगों के नाम से ही राज चलता है, लोगों के काम से ही राज चलता है, तो लोगों के पास से पैसा तो लेना पड़ेगा, लेकिन वो पैसा देते हैं उससे 10 गुना उनके घर में जाना चाहिए।
And now the news in detail. The Special CBI Court in Lucknow today acquitted all 32 accused in the Babri demolition case. Special CBI Judge Surendra Kumar Yadav said that demolition happened at the spur of the moment and it was not a pre-planned incident. He said that there were not enough evidences to prove the allegations made by the CBI in this case. While delivering his verdict, the special judge said that the demolition was done by some anti-social elements and there was no alliance between such persons and the accused. Most of the senior leaders among the 32 accused, such as L.K. Advani, Kalyan Singh and Murli Manohar Joshi, were not present in the Lucknow court due to various reasons. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has welcomed the verdict of the CBI Special Court in Lucknow, acquitting all accused in the Babri Masjid demolition case. In a tweet, Mr. Singh said, the decision has proved that justice can never be denied. Mr. L.K. Advani wholeheartedly welcomed the judgment by the Special Court. In a tweet, he said, the judgment vindicates his personal and BJP's belief and commitment toward the Ram Janmabhoomi movement. Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi also welcomed the verdict.
इस निर्णय ने यह सिद्ध कर दिया है कि हमारा आंदोलन, हमारे कार्यक्रम किसी षड्यंत्र के तहत नहीं थे, वो एक सामान्य जनतांत्रिक आंदोलन के तौर पर थे। ये बड़ी बात है, इससे हम सब प्रसन्न हैं, देश प्रसन्न है और मैं ऐसा समझता हूं कि इसके बाद ये विवाद समाप्त होना चाहिए और सारे देश को मिलकर भव्य राम मंदिर के निर्माण के लिए तत्पर होना चाहिए।
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath welcomed the decision and said that the Congress tried to frame the Hindu leaders through the case, but finally the truth has won and it's like Satyamev Jayate. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today spoke to Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on the Hathras issue, in which a girl succumbed to the injuries in a Delhi hospital after being attacked and gang-raped by 4 persons of a village. The Prime Minister asked the Chief Minister to take strictest action against the culprits in this case. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said in a tweet that all the 4 accused in this matter have been arrested by the police and the trial of the case will take place in a fast-track court. The Chief Minister has also ordered the formation of a 3-member special investigation team headed by the State Home Secretary to investigate the incident. The team will also include DIG, Police, Chandra Prakash and PAC Sena Nayak Agra, Poonam as members. The team has to submit a report within 7 days. Meanwhile, UP police today rebutted the allegations that last rites of the deceased girl were performed without the consent of the family. The victim girl was allegedly gang-raped in a village under Chandpa police station in Hathras district on 14th of September. She was initially rushed to the hospital in Aligarh but was shifted to Delhi's Safdarjung hospital after her condition deteriorated. She kept fighting for her life for 15 days but succumbed to her injuries yesterday.
In Bihar, the full Election Commission team led by Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora met the representatives of different political parties today. Janata Dal United demanded that the Election Commission should take responsibility for distribution of voter slips among the electorates. The party expressed concern over the presence of limited number of people in the election meeting. Congress demanded deployment of medical teams per 10 booths. On the other hand, LJP requested the Commission that polling booths in the assembly elections should be on the lines of Panchayat elections. More in this report.
Later in the day, the Election Commission team will hold a review meeting in Patna with the district magistrates and superintendents of police of 26 districts, which include Saran, Siwan, Gopalganj and Muzaffarpur. The team is presently on a 3-day visit to Bihar to review the preparedness for the upcoming Bihar Assembly elections. The Chief Election Commissioner is accompanied with Election Commissioners Sushil Chandra and Rajiv Kumar. Bihar is the first state where Assembly election is being held amidst the pandemic. Tomorrow, the EC team will go to Gaya, where a review meeting with DMs and SPs of 12 districts, including Aurangabad, Kaimur and Rohtash, will be held. Before returning to Delhi, the Chief Election Commissioner will hold a review meeting with the Chief Secretary, Home Secretary and Director General of Police. With the report of KK Lal from Patna, this is Diksha Saxena for All India Radio News, Delhi.
The government has continued the procurement of Kharif 2020-21 crops at minimum support price or MSP from farmers as per its existing MSP schemes. The Ministry of Agriculture said that approval has been accorded for procurement of over 14 lakh metric tons of pulses and oilseeds for the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana and Haryana as proposed by them. It said for other states and union territories, approval will also be accorded on receipt of proposal for Kharif pulses and oilseeds. Inaugurating 6 mega projects in Uttarakhand under the Namami Gange mission yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured farmers about the continuity of guaranteed minimum support price and government procurements of agri-produce. The Prime Minister said that major reforms have been brought to empower farmers, workers, youth and the women of the country. He criticized the opposition for launching an agitation against the reforms in labour and farm sectors. The procurement of paddy during Kharif marketing season 2020-21 began from 26th of September in Haryana and Punjab. So far, the paddy procurement of 3,164 metric tons in Haryana and 13,256 metric tons in Punjab, having MSP value of 31 crore rupees, has been done from 1,443 farmers of Haryana and Punjab. The procurement of paddy for the remaining states began on Monday. The ministry said so far the government through its nodal agencies has procured 46.35 metric tons of moong, having MSP value of 33 lakh rupees, benefiting 48 farmers in Tamil Nadu. Similarly, 5,089 metric tons of copra have been procured, benefiting 3,961 farmers in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Speaking to AIR on procurement, Food and Consumer Affairs Minister Rao Saheb Patil Danve said,
किसानों को भड़काया जा रहा था कि सरकार अब एमएसपी पे खरीदारी शुरू नहीं करेगी, लेकिन मैं आपको जानकारी देता हूं कि भारत सरकार ने पहले ही साल हरियाणा, पंजाब और बाकी देश के हिस्सों में भी खरीदारी एमएसपी ही सरकार शुरू करेगी। मेरी पंजाब के कृषि मंत्री से कल ही बात हुई, उनका जो बकाया राशि थी उनकी वो भी मैंने भेज दी है और पंजाब के कृषि मंत्री ने मोदी जी का अभिनंदन भी किया है। ये गलत है कि सरकार एमएसपी से खरीदारी नहीं करेगी। सरकार एमएसपी से ही खरीदारी करेगी, इसमें किसानों को गुमराह करने की कोई कोशिश न करे। और सरकार ने जो एनसीबीसी की जो पैसा था 20,000 करोड़ वो जारी भी कर दिया है।
The union government has repeatedly assured the farmers that minimum support price and agricultural produce and livestock market committees will continue and will not be removed at any cost. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said yesterday, after inaugurating 6 mega projects in Uttarakhand, that those opposing the farm reform bills do not want farmers to have the freedom of selling their produce in the open market. One of the objections raised is against a provision in the Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020, which provides for the creation of a trade area outside the APMC mandis. The farmers fear that the MSP mechanism would be done away with if the mandi system comes to an end. However, the centre has assured the farmers that MSP is an administrative decision which is presently there and will remain in the future as well. Our correspondent gives us the details. Due to some technical faults, we would not be able to give you the bite. The Supreme Court today refused to postpone the Civil Services preliminary examination to be conducted by the Union Public Service Commission on the 4th of October because of the pandemic and floods in several parts of the country. A bench of Justices A.M. Khanwilkar, B.R. Gavai and Krishna Murari asked the centre to consider granting one more chance to those aspirants who may not appear in their last attempt for the exam due to the pandemic. The Apex Court also refused to consider the plea for clubbing of UPSC Civil Service exam of 2020 with 2021 exams, saying this will have a cascading effect. The bench was hearing a plea seeking postponement of the Civil Services exam for 2 to 3 months so that the incessant rains recede and the COVID-19 curve flattens. The UPSC opposed the plea, saying all necessary precautions have been taken and adequate arrangements have been made for holding the exam.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Special CBI court acquits all 32 accused in Babri Masjid demolition case, says demolition was not pre-planned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asked Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister to take strictest action against culprits in the Hathras rape case. Special investigation team to probe the incident. Election Commission team meets representatives of political parties in Bihar, reviews preparations for assembly elections. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.33%. Donald Trump and Joe Biden exchange barbs in the first debate for US presidential election. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Kolkata Knight Riders in Dubai tonight. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened? What is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. Every day at 10:20 in the night. On 100.1 FM, All India Radio. Welcome back. India continues to report a trend of steadily declining percentage of active cases against the total positive cases. Presently, the active cases account for only 15.11% of the total positive cases of the country, standing at 9,40,441. From 33.32% on 1st of August to 15.11% on 30th of September, the active cases have less than halved in 2 months. With 80,472 infections being reported in the last 24 hours, total number of positive cases touched the 62 lakh mark today. The continuous upward trajectory of India's recovery rate has touched 83.33% today. In all, 86,428 patients recovered and were discharged during the last 24 hours. The total recovered cases stand at 51,87,825. The gap between recovered cases and active cases has now widened to 42 lakh. With increasing number of recoveries, this gap is continuously widening day by day. The death toll climbed to 97,497, with 1,179 people succumbing to the disease in a day. The case fatality rate stands at 1.57%. More than 76% of the active cases are concentrated in the states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Assam, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. Maharashtra contributes the maximum with more than 2,60,000 active cases. According to the ICMR, 10,86,688 samples were tested for detection of COVID-19 yesterday. ICMR's second Sero survey findings released yesterday has revealed that 1 in 15 individuals aged 10 years and above were estimated to be exposed to SARS-CoV-2 by August, showing that a considerable population is still susceptible to COVID-19. Briefing media yesterday, DG ICMR Dr. Balram Bhargav said 6.6% of over 29,000 people aged 10 and above surveyed from 17th August to 22nd September showed evidence of past exposure to COVID-19, and 7.1% of the adult population aged 18 and above also showed evidence of past exposure to it. He said lockdown, containment and behavioral change at the population level have effectively checked the potential spread of SARS-CoV-2. Dr. Bhargav said the risk in urban slums was twice than that in non-slum urban areas and 4 times the risk in rural settings. He said the second Sero survey was conducted in same 700 villages and wards from 70 districts from 21 states which were covered during the first survey. But this time it surveyed different households and individuals. The ICMR DG said since a large proportion of the population is still susceptible, prevention fatigue has to be avoided and the 5T strategy, test, track, trace, treat and technology has to be adhered to.
Health Minister Harshvardhan and Labour Minister Santosh Kumar Gangwar virtually released a booklet on COVID-19 Safe Workplace Guidelines for Industry in the presence of Member Health Niti Aayog V.K. Paul. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Harshvardhan said that these guidelines are commendable and timely and it will help in the welfare of the industrial workers. He said that the guidelines will act as a comprehensive planning guidance for employers and workers to use it to help identify risk levels of COVID-19 at individual workplace settings in their premises and to determine appropriate control measures. The minister said that these guidelines consolidate all important measures into a ready reckoner of action points to make the workplace safe.
गाइडलाइन केवल किताब के लिए या वेबसाइट के लिए नहीं होती है। गाइडलाइन जो है वो आंदोलन बननी चाहिए, वो हर आदमी की जबान पे होनी चाहिए, वो हर आदमी के व्यवहार में होनी चाहिए और उसको हर आदमी के जबान पर लाने के लिए, उसको हर आदमी के व्यवहार में लाने के लिए हम सबको थोड़े से एक्स्ट्रा प्रयास करने पड़ेंगे। तो इसलिए ये गाइडलाइंस का रिलीज करने का जो ये अवसर है, जिसको हमने कहा है कि सेफ वर्क प्लेस गाइडलाइंस फॉर इंडस्ट्री।
The Health Minister said that the government is committed to working for the welfare of the workers. He said, as the country is moving towards the unlocking of economic activities, it is important that the guidelines are followed within the industry premises. He also lauded ESIC hospitals which are playing an important role in providing services to the COVID patients. Speaking on the occasion, Labour Minister Santosh Kumar Gangwar said, the guidelines for safety of industrial workers will encourage people. Union Minister Prakash Zavadekar today lauded the central public enterprises for doing their work effectively during the pandemic. Releasing a compendium, Building Self-Reliant, Resurgent, Resilient India, on the contribution of public sector enterprises amidst the ongoing pandemic, the minister said that PSUs are the pride of the country. He said that electricity supply during COVID was 99%. He said that oil marketing companies continued to work round the clock and goods movement also went on seamlessly.
आज मुझे खुशी है कि आज हमने हमारे सार्वजनिक कंपनियों के तरफ से कोविड के काल में जो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है उसका एक कंपेंडियम हमने प्रसिद्ध किया है। इसमें किस तरह से कोविड के पीरियड में इवन लॉकडाउन में किस तरह से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सप्लाई जारी रहा, किस तरह से गैस सप्लाई जारी रहा, किस तरह से गैस का रिफिल जारी रहा, किस तरह से पेट्रोल पंप खुले रहे, किस तरह से माल की ढुलाई होती रही।
Telangana reported 2,103 fresh COVID-19 cases in the past 24 hours, taking the number of cases in the state to 1,91,386. The state conducted over 55,000 tests yesterday. The recovery rate also slightly improved to 84.08%, with 2,243 more people recovering yesterday. The daily bulletin issued by the State Medical and Health Department stated that total deaths rose to 1,127, following 11 deaths reported during the past 24 hours. In Hyderabad, 298 new COVID-19 cases have been reported in the past 24 hours. In Odisha, another 3,896 COVID-19 patients have recovered, taking the total recovery to 1,81,481. On the other hand, 3,443 persons were reported positive today, taking the total caseload of the state to 2,19,119.
For the last couple of days, the viral velocity in the state has slowed down a bit, as is evident from the leads the daily recovered patients have been making over the fresh infection. The intraday cases in the top two districts in terms of infection, namely Khordha with 601 and Cuttack with 359 fresh infection, two have reported only about half the cases they used to report only a few days ago. With daily recovery rather than daily infection now on the surge, the active caseload of the state too has got depleted by more than 1,000 cases, now resting below 37,000. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
In Maharashtra, the state government has called for the cancellation of Dandiya, Garbha and other cultural programs during the ensuing Navratri, Durga Puja and Dussehra festivals amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. A circular issued by the government yesterday advised the people to celebrate the festival in a simple manner without any sort of public gathering. The SOP released by the government stated the government's My Family, My Responsibility initiative should be followed. It also stated that efforts should be taken for generating awareness against the spread of COVID-19 and other contagious diseases like malaria and dengue. More from our correspondent.
Along the lines of Ganesh Utsav, Maharashtra government imposed height restrictions of Durga idols to a maximum of 4 feet. The immersion of idols should be done at home or in any artificial pond created by civic bodies or housing societies. The guidelines encouraged online darshan of deities and restricted the entry of persons to 5 at a time in a pandal. The SOP has encouraged clay or metallic idols instead of POP idols. The burning of Ravan's effigy during the Dussehra should be held in a symbolic manner without any public gathering and can be streamed live through social media platforms. Devapriya Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
The Health Minister of Maharashtra, Rajesh Tope, has said that private hospitals and diagnostic centers have taken undue advantage of the COVID-19 situation and they are overcharging patients even for basic health services. Speaking at an event organized by the Western Region of Industry Body, CII, yesterday, Tope said that there have been instances of these private facilities charging hefty sums from people for medical services. The minister said that the state government has taken various measures to cap prices of healthcare services so that people can afford them.
The year-long celebrations to mark the 150th birth anniversary of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, will be coming to an end on the 2nd of October. A new gallery has been set up at the Barakpur Gandhi Memorial Museum in North 24 Parganas. The official inauguration will be held on that day. Some paintings of Mahatma Gandhi's childhood, mainly 3 important chapters, have been given prominence in this gallery. The new gallery displays various paintings from the time of Mahatma Gandhi's life from 1869 to 1888. Dr. Pratik Ghosh, Director and Secretary of Gandhi Memorial Museum, said a charkha used by Gandhiji has also been kept in the gallery.
This year, when year concluding ceremony of 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi is going on throughout the country, our Gandhi Memorial Museum at Barakpur, we are developing a new gallery for the future generation. And this gallery we call the Diorama Gallery. In this gallery, when the visitors will come, they will visit the new gallery entitled the Diorama Gallery. And in this gallery, they can find the childhood incidents of Mahatma Gandhi. When he was not Mahatma, he was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. And then 3 life-size diorama of Gandhiji's important events and some important national leaders of our country, you also find the cotton thread which was extracted from the spinning wheel by these national leaders of our country. I think this is a unique gallery for our future generation.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden held the first presidential debate with heated exchanges over health care, the coronavirus, and the future of the Supreme Court. Trump and Biden arrived in Cleveland, Ohio, hoping the debate, moderated by Chris Wallace, would energize their bases of support, even as they competed for the slice of undecided voters who could decide the election. Fighting for an edge in their bitter campaign, the two leaders frequently interrupted each other with angry interjections.
The 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived? Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act?
Joe, you've had 308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me about this.
I'm happy to talk about that.
And if you were here, it wouldn't be 200, it would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban...
All right, gentlemen,
which was heavily infected. You would have been much later, Joe.
With just 35 days to go for the election and early voting already underway in some states, this was the first of 3 debates scheduled between the 77-year-old Biden and 74-year-old Trump.
India and Bangladesh have agreed to set up a high-level monitoring committee to regularly review the progress of implementation of projects being run with line of credit, LOC, provided by India. The committee will be headed by the Secretary, Economic Relations Division of Bangladesh and High Commissioner of India in Bangladesh. The decision was taken during the 6th meeting of the Joint Consultative Commission, JCC, which was held on a virtual platform yesterday. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Foreign Minister of Bangladesh Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen jointly chaired the meeting. On to sports now. In IPL cricket today, Rajasthan Royals will take on Kolkata Knight Riders in Dubai. In yesterday's match, Rashid Khan's brilliant performance and Bhuvneshwar Kumar's gutsy show with the ball guided Sunrisers Hyderabad to a 15-run win over Delhi Capitals in Abu Dhabi.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi will experience strong surface winds during daytime. The minimum temperature was recorded at 24 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected to be around 36. Mumbai will have partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 33 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum is likely to be 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the city was 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 35 degrees. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature in Jammu was 20 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was around 7 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 27 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. Leh in Ladakh will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature recorded was 1 degree Celsius, while the maximum is likely to be 22 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. The minimum temperature was 8 degrees Celsius and the maximum is likely to be 25 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 14 degrees Celsius and the maximum is likely to be around 34 degrees Celsius. Dehradun will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 32 degrees Celsius. And now the headlines once again. Special CBI court acquits all 32 accused in Babri Masjid demolition case. Says demolition was not pre-planned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asks Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister to take strictest action against culprits in the Hathras rape case. Special investigation team to probe the incident. Election Commission team meets representatives of political parties in Bihar, reviews preparations for assembly elections. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.33%. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Kolkata Knight Riders in Dubai tonight. And at the end of the bulletin, we leave you with Bapu's favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Janto, to commemorate the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, sung by an artist from Philippines.
Vaishnav